5. Hang on a sec. Didn't we just use it? We just used it. One second. Do you guys see anything in the background? Where in the literal hell did I put it? It's usually right here on my shelf. It's a sign to keep it unlubed. No doubt, no doubt. Hang on. Oh, I did have my box of lubricants though, and now I don't know where that is. And now I'm half wondering if I got cleaned up today with everything else. Let's see. Boom. Oh man, that was a little bit nerve-wracking. Sorry. Here we go. We got it. We got it. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to lube this thing. One full side. Bone dry on your stabs. Well, keep in mind, it's not the stabs that I'm worried about. It's the sliders. So in this particular case, what we're going to do is we're going to take the plate. We're going to lube the plate in all directions. So we're going to go... what I usually do is I put my finger in the hole of... You heard me. I put my finger to cover the opening of the slider that I'm currently on, and then I just advance it each time, moving the plate all along, and then I don't lose track. Everyone kind of does it their own way, but that's the way I do it. Tell that to my ZMF Atticus. I still love it all the same, though. There you go. Okay. Seba, you heard me. What does lubing the plate do? I've never seen a plate like this. So, Sonic, the way that this works is... Let me show you. Let me show you. Put this in like so. Okay, so what we're going to do, we haven't done it yet, but what we're going to do is we're going to take our... Need a pair of tweezers. I'm off the rails now, guys. I'm off the rails. Fully scuffed. Okay, here, let's just take this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my, in this particular case, my stem holder, and I'm going to push out the rails. Okay? So these sliders, sorry, not the rails, the sliders. These sliders basically have two little hooks on them. Hang on, I just don't want to lose this, the silencing ring here. Okay. Basically what happens is there's two little sliders here. One on one side here, and one on the other. You can see them rotating around in my finger, yeah? These mate with the inner rails on the switch plate here. So on the switch plate, you can see there are these two areas right here and here, the little like V-shaped things, right? So the little, these two little pieces, those little hooks, basically get lined up with the slider rails like so. So that way the slider itself gets seated into the rails, and then you just push it in. And that's what allows it to plunge up and down. On the underside, the rubber dome sits inside here, and then the spring pushes up on the rubber dome, which gives you the full sort of assembly. I saw the other ports. This is a toper board. Yep, it is. It is indeed. Okay, and now Sonic's like, yeah, dude, I already know. Stop talking about it. Okay, you got it. Posture check. Thank you, Wasabi. All right, off we go. Now I'm not going to put too much lube in here, so I'm actually going to spread it out amongst, I had a fair bit there, but I'm just going to spread it out amongst 3 different sliders. And what I'm hoping is that we can lube just a little bit, and then we should be able to keep some of that same smooth feel that we've got in the default plate with the new plate. I'm not sure how this new plate is going to function or behave or perform or any of that kind of good stuff, but we shall see, I suppose, as we go along. Okay, cool. Never used a Topper switch. Is this board similar to an HHKB? So this is an HHKB. We just took the guts out of it, and we're going to put it inside of the Norbauer housing as we go. That's the plan. Now what I'm doing here is I'm only lubing 1/2 of the rail for now, and the reason for that is I do all the down ones, the ones that are facing the down part of the plate, all the ones on the bottom side of each rail, and then I flip it over and I do the other side. I think everyone does their rail lubing differently, but this is how I do mine. And I'm really just going with light, almost using the residual lube on the brush and a small addition, but not much more than that. I'm actually going to take my glasses off just so I can see near to my face just a smidge better, because those are for seeing far away. I'm nearsighted, so no problem to see stuff up close for me yet. How about you guys? How many of you wear glasses? Gio, you started with Bopra before you got into MX, right? So, Seba, when it comes to customs, the answer to that is yes. My first custom was a Topra board, but my first mechanical keyboard was obviously an MX board. Or not obviously, I guess, but my first mechanical was an MX board. And that was a lot in that one housing, so I'm going to spread that way out. Going to use that in quite a few switches here. I'd say that particular rail, the 3 key or whatever it is, might be slightly over lubed, but that's okay. Now we're into the alphas. I'm going to do, like I said, all of the down-facing rails first. My first custom was actually the Norbaforce. Before that, I'd only used pre-builts. So when I was trying to get a different feel, I would buy a different keyboard from a different pre-built manufacturer, trying to figure out why the heck I couldn't get the feel I was looking for. And actually, one of the switches I liked a fair bit, which is, I'm not sure if I should admit it or not, but I get teased about it a fair bit, is actually I liked the Romer G switches from Logitech a fair bit. And I know that those are some of the most unpopular MX switches or mechanical switches around, but for me, I really did like them. I really did. I'm trying to see if I can actually clear the brush. There we go. Okay. Just going to add a little bit in here because the brush is quite loaded to every single one of these rails here across the board. And then just brush it off. Perfect. All right. Wait, is the white Norbaforce that you showed off? Yeah, that's the one, Seba. Norbaforce, big leap. Yeah, it was kind of a big leap because not only did I have to buy the freaking case, I also had to buy the the R2 to go in it. So I kind of dove in with both feet. But I bought a lot of mechanical keyboards before that, so I was like, okay. And a buddy of mine had a Norbaforce. So Winnipeg, for some reason, has a high number of Norbauer enjoyers per capita, I would say. Because yeah, there's a few people with Norbauer boards in the city, and I would say that they're not the most common of custom enclosures. So the fact that anybody, like that you even know someone else in your city with one when you live in a city as small as we do is pretty unlikely, you know? Wardog says, I wear bifocals, but tonight it won't make a difference if I wear them or not. Wardog always getting on the drink. If I'm reading between the lines correctly. Now this one in particular, this slider has a little bit of extra plastic on it, but it looks like it's on the outside of the slider, so it should be okay. It should be okay. And like I said, we're going pretty light on here because the these are the slider housings. The sliders themselves have been used in a lubed plate already, so they shouldn't have too much of an issue moving around quietly. Just as the fact that they've probably got some residual lube on them from the other plate, just from moving around, you know? Okay. I do enjoy the drink. You just have to be on the times of the week I enjoy them more than most. There you go. Could never get over the Norbaforce chin height. The height. Well, that's I don't think that doesn't really ever bother me, I guess, poo poo, because like the F1 also has a pretty high front height as well, and I don't mind it. And that's another one of my favorite boards, actually, as it turns out. I would say the F1 is my favorite board so far. Yeah, I do really like my Norbaforce, but I would say if I had to keep one board for the rest of my life and not type on another board, I would keep the F1. Gio, what grams are these domes? These are 45 gram domes. Mr. Body Massage, hello. Hello. How are you? How are you on this fine Sunday evening / Monday morning? It's interesting, actually, working on an HHKB, you don't actually have as many sliders to do because it's only a 60%. And why is a 60% so many fewer switches than an 80? Isn't that crazy? Have you tried or considered an XRF? So Penguin, I haven't tried an XRF. My issue with the XRF is if I was going to buy one, I would really want an 86U to go in it. And those are either chronically expensive or unavailable. And for me, I don't really like the concept of the enclosure being made for a board that came out like, I don't know, over a decade ago and isn't really obtainable. I know you can get it for, you know, you can put an 87U in it, which fine, like but I already have a Norbaforce in that form factor. So for me, I'm like a little bit less excited about it. That's my issue. You know what I mean? Penguin? I don't know. Like, I know what they're, like, I see what they're going for, but I just find it to be a little bit hard to buy into it. I feel like it's probably a great board, but I don't know. It's also kind of like the Avia, you know, where it's like the Avia is also probably a wonderful board, but then you have to put two boards inside of it. Like you have to buy two separate keyboards. And I'm like, man, are you serious? I don't know. Feels bad. Aftermarket 86U plates and PCBs are available now. Oh, well, that's, I guess, something different. That I didn't know. At the same time, I don't know. I have to tell you, with a Norbaforce in hand and a Heavy Grail now being built, I don't know I don't know how many more Topra boards I would buy. And that isn't to say that, Norbauer is the be-all and end-all of Topra, but I would say before I bought another one, I would probably sell one or both of these. And that's, that's just because I've already kind of got that Topra feeling in hand. And for me, if I was going to buy more, I think I would want something very sort of different, right? Penguin says, my future 87U XRF is going to be Copium. Yes. There are some custom 86U PCBs you can get, but the last I've heard, it's not there yet quality-wise. And that was a concern for me. Like, if you can't get them, like, legit, then I don't know. There's something to be said for the OG manufacturer most of the time, which is tricky. And Topra especially is something that's a little bit of like a secret sauce, Like Fujitsu has not been super forthcoming with unlocking all the secrets of what's going on there just yet. So, I don't know. Just me? What are you guys feeling about that? It's different with MX because switches are like readily available and tested and not really magical. Whereas like generally speaking, there aren't that many Topra boards, so there aren't that many opportunities to share information or compare and contrast different designs against each other. There's been a few aftermarket boards, but not many. There's actually a really interesting one in group buy a while back, but it was it was a little bit of a untested studio that was putting it out. Gondo's developing an 86U PCB. Yes, that's true. I know. Gondo and I have been chatting, actually, obviously, because he had agreed to sign up to do the PCB for my keyboard. So. So, we shall see how that gets finalized. Yeah. Yes. Seba, I thought you knew that, Seba, no? Yep. Yes. We shall see. We're just about actually done the sort of conceptual design of the mounting enclosure system. And when we're done, that will be sort of an opportunity to finalize the assembly, like the plate, switch, and PCB assembly shape and all that with Gondo. Gondo himself? Sheesh. Yeah. Yes, sir. Well, we submitted the kind of the proof, the project brief or whatever to Gondo, and he was interested, and yeah. The rest was just like a few meetings and demoing the design and all that kind of good stuff. Wait, Gio, did you leak already what layouts? I did not. We're not talking about anything until we kind of, like when I have a render and I can say this is what the board looks like and it's like completed and all that kind of a thing, then I will leak. But I don't, I'm not going to share anything in advance, which might be to my detriment in case people are like, oh, you took that idea, or you took that. But I mean, like, we're talking about rectangles, right? So, we've been working on this now for about 8 months. And yeah, I'm excited, super excited. Here's hoping it's not a 40. Okay, so here's your first leak. It's not a 40. Sorry, here's your second leak. It's also not a full size. So it's not an 1800 and it's not a 40. So you can, if anyone was waiting or excited about either of those form factors, those are not them. So there you go. You got me. There you go, Sonic. Sorry. Give me that HHKV layout. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We've got a little bit more planning to do before we can start talking about any of that. So, yeah. The real sort of interest for us is going to be in, and this is one thing I'm going to tell you guys right now. This is a conceptual or thematic leak. But in that particular case, we are building it and manufacturing it ourselves. So the plan is we are not shipping the board overseas. We are not working with an overseas manu. We are making it here in our own town. Similar to what Key Cult is doing with their own machines. We do have an industrial CNC. We do have access to a lot of mechanical and engineering talent right here at home. And yeah, we're going to give it a shot. So we'll make at least one for me. And if anybody else wants one, then we'll... the photos of the actual keyboard and not a render are going to be included in the IC. And the IC is going to get laughed out because I have no karma or whatever on Geek Hack. But if you guys are interested, then you're welcome to upvote it or whatever. But it's still going to go up. And the keyboard will not be a render. There will be type tests and all that kind of good stuff as part of it to prove that we actually have the board. We'll have like a little making of video and all that kind of good stuff. And yeah. Right? That's cool. You will learn to CNC yourself. No, I'm not going to learn to CNC myself. My partner is an architect and has experience in CNCing all kinds of stuff. So from that perspective, we already have experience as a team. I do not have experience, but they do. And as a result, we have a really good sort of duo going on, where I have a strong sort of opinion about the layout and the acoustics and the look of it. And they are mostly bringing their design, engineering, and manufacturing expertise. And together, we've got a pretty good handle on making a keyboard. That is the plan. That is the plan. And I am not sure what this music is, but just give me 1 second. Because what in the hell? Let's see. There we go. It's like some swanky stuff. Yeah, I heard photos. Oh, good idea. Good idea. Although that would be a pretty heavy leak. So we'll see. KC, we will see. We will see. I think once the IC goes up, if we want to have additional photos, I will definitely be hitting you up, my friend. For sure. For sure. You see Random Frank P's. I didn't, Sonic. What did he say? Did he like them? Ooh, that sax. That hot sax. Cone feet, right though? Cone feet. Maybe. I did not see the Random Frank P video on those keycaps. Let me ask you guys a question. Do you enjoy like Bad Seed Tech and Random Frank P and those like tech reviewers doing keyboard content as well? Let me ask you a follow-up question. Do you feel like those tech reviewers qualify as keyboard content people as well? Like, do they do enough keyboard Hang on a sec. Is this too loud? No, it's not, right? I didn't adjust the volume. Okay. Do you feel that, you know, people like Random Frank P and, you know, Bad Seed and those guys are actually keyboard people who, you know, would give you advice that you would be like, yes, okay, they like this keyboard, therefore it's a good keyboard? Or are they more like extra content that's just more entertaining? Mr. Body Massage says, Bad C-Tech isn't too bad. He puts a fair bit of effort into the videos and shows a lot of different configs. True. I agree with you. I mean, Random Frank P has purchased like Mechanisk boards, if I'm not mistaken, which are not the most well known, tell you the truth, in the community. Like, how many people here have typed on or own a Mechanisk board, like a Fiel or a Clip? Honestly, bad C-Tech is far from a reference for a keyboard. Ithrak, you're saying no, basically. They are not people you would go to for a reference for a keyboard, correct? Seba says, not as much as I used to anymore, and I feel like they're good for the beginner crowd when it comes to keyboard. Yes, I agree with you 100%, Seba. They're really good in terms of getting people interested, right? Because their content is accessible and there's a lot of energy there. Like, if you want to get someone into keyboards and you show them a 3-hour build stream with Teja, I don't think that's going to get them interested in mechanical keyboards. And that's not a knock against Teja. That's just the way that we enjoy the hobby, being different than other people, right? Clackers says Brandon Taylor is pretty good. Brandon Taylor also is sort of, I'd say, in the same category, right? I would say. But I think you're right. I agree with you. Nachos barbecue. To be honest, I only listen to actual keyboard people like Diego, Nathan, or Marcia, or Alex. Agreed. To me, my go-tos out of that list, Nachos, are Diego and Alex. More so than the other two. And that isn't to say that Teja and Marcia aren't knowledgeable. They're just not my favorite keyboard folks. I used to watch more Teja early, and now I watch almost none. And I don't know why that is. Would you say that that's common? Here's a question for you guys as well. Everyone knows Nathan. Everyone knows Teja types. Everyone can appreciate the quality in a stream, whatever else. But how many people here commit as much time as they used to watching Nathan? I watch so little Teja types now. I don't know. We talked about this before, though. So if this is boring, tell me to shut up. But for me, I feel like it's really the chat, because it's so hard to interact with him in the chat, and he's got so many viewers. It stops becoming about the intimacy of, a stream that you can watch and share with the other viewers, and more just something you consume as a passive interest. Ithrak is saying the same thing as me, and Mr. Body Massage is saying the same thing as well, except for me, I find that I just get lost in the shuffle, so he doesn't answer. TechTubers again to keyboards when it got big. Agreed, Nachos. They are more relevant towards mass-produced stuff, though. That's also true, KC. Sarlacc says, we end up finding our own corner of degeneracy and the chat/streamers that we can be hipstery with. Hipstery said half joking, but also kind of true, though, right? Nathan is great, but his chat is terrible most of the time. That is, for me, the biggest thing. Also, Lulstacks being the GOAT, 100% true. To me, no, that's not true. Man, I don't know. Lulstacks, Alex, and Diego, probably a pretty hardcore three-way tie, no? Like, I don't know. What do you guys think? That would be a tricky one to make the call, I would say. He built a board with the switches using Gazoo Boba LT switches and NPKC high profile resin 60 case. Frank really likes the sound of Thok, just the switches are pretty heavy. Nebby says, well, for me, as still new to the hobby, I don't even know the questions yet, so listening in, I get little tidbits of info to learn. Interesting. So that's a good point, Nebby. So let's say you're coming to Twitch, right? Nebby, where do you get most of your Twitch, information / knowledge from, generally speaking? Seba says, I lurk in Teja's stream every once in a while. I never watch him too much anyways. I mostly lurk in his stream now as well. Agreed. Yeah, those who are super knowledgeable. Yeah, that's how I started out as well. Totally. Same here. I'm new to the Keeb scene. And Nebby says, started with Teja and then Lightning and then Tim, which led me to you. Okay, well, that's a pretty decent progression, I would say. Now it looks like I'm missing. This one is missing the silencing gasket, so I just have to double check what's up with that. This one here. Oops. Sorry for bumping the mic there. So, oh, you know what? Hang on one sec. Let me show you one more thing here. I just realized I forgot I did this. Sorry. So I'm going to get super anal about this and put all the switches in the exact same orientation, even though it doesn't matter. But I'm going to put up the top cam here as well, so you can see what I'm doing in this view, as well as on the side view. His cats are so cute, though, not going to lie. Yeah, true. Marcia and Nathan are a close second. Oh, so I think the most knowledgeable person in the streaming side, Diego is, I have to tell you, I think Diego is the most knowledgeable by a pretty wide margin, right? Like Nathan, it's very rare to ask Diego something and have him go, oh, I haven't heard of that, or I don't know about that. Nathan sometimes gets caught in that position, and that isn't to say that that's bad. Like, so do I. Like, I'm not trying to say like, oh, no. What I'm saying is when you put those two side by side, Diego is just so freaking knowledgeable. No one really can hold a candle. I would say, honestly, you know, to me, I would say like Lulz and Alex are probably close seconds, just in terms of the amount of things that they've tried to build. Yeah, and like everyone is like, there's space for everybody in the scene, right? Like it's not like whatever. Marcia is not someone I watch almost ever, but I would say the same thing, and for different reasons. I'm about to draw a comparison here, but not for the same reason. I also don't watch much Black Simon, but that isn't comparing Black Simon and Marcia at all. So just to be super clear about that, but I don't watch Black Simon either. Sometimes if Yo Keebs raids, then I get like dragged along, and then I will, but generally speaking, I don't. Okay. Arkeys, hello. Hello. How are you doing? Welcome. Thank you for hanging out. We are working on a Norbauer Heavy Grail. And so far, no hiccups. Not to jinx it, but so far, no hiccups. Black Simon, not really for me. I sat in on one stream. Yeah, he's... it's just not my vibe. It's just not my vibe. Everyone's got different things they like. Black Simon's just a little too angry for me. You know? Just a little bit angry. That's not usually what I'm looking for in a stream. I'm looking for a little bit more just relax, you know? I also watch Wildcat. Oh yeah, Wildcat, true. I mean, when you start getting into YouTube, that's a whole different world, because there's a lot of people who do YouTube content who don't really stream, right? I will tell you, one of my favorite YouTube content creators was Hamaji. And I was like super sad when he went to school, because I'm like, oh, damn it. You know what I mean? Topra, never tried them before. Yeah, I'd say that's not super uncommon. I would say most mechanical keyboard enjoyers haven't. And that's not bad. It's just, I would say the most common sort of response, which is totally fine and normal and all that good stuff. But it's something actually that I got into almost right away when I started getting into custom keyboards. Warthog, thanks so much for the 100 bits, man. What? How's it going, dude? Like just every donation of bits, my friend. Thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. You can tell how genuinely surprised I am. I'm like, whoa, why? Thank you. We will never forget Hamaji. Oh my gosh, that kid. Right? Ugh. Missed that. I really, really enjoyed, like, and he blew up. Like, Hamaji easily could have been like, I'm going to keep riding this out for a little while, you know? Because I think he was getting very big very quickly. Probably bigger than he expected as well, I have to say. Okay, here we go. We left one of these gaskets in the plate. The plate. Lewis Toe, I don't know them. Also Shoobs. Okay, yeah, Shoobs. Agreed. Shoobs, I would say though, I like the videos I watch of Shoobs, but I don't wait for them to come out. You know, like for YouTubers, there's a few YouTubers that I wait for their videos to come out. Like I've talked about Chris Ramsey before. I really like Chris Ramsey's stuff. I just find it very entertaining. The puzzles solving is like very relaxing, or I find it very relaxing. So like a before bed thing, watching some Chris Ramsey, yeah. I really dig that. That is like, for me, that's a fantastic way to chill with his videos. Some of them, I guess, are a little bit more high energy, but generally I find him to be pretty relaxing. Shoobs is incredibly knowledgeable. He puts on a character for... Right. So Nachos, are you feeling like you do or do not like that, or wish he wouldn't, or what was the commentary there? I agree with you on both. I agree with you on that point, though. Yo, the Heavy Grail so nice. Ryan, hello. Yes. Yes, we're putting the Heavy Grail together right now. We're just transplanting the sliders with silencing rings. We have the plate lubed up, and we're just we're going through this kind of row by row at the moment. I'm just doing it row by row so that I don't lose too many gaskets or anything, and I'm just sort of keeping it sort of chill in terms of the amount of digging around that I have to do in case something goes flying, you know? Can I see the case? Yes, you can. Hang on one second. I'm just going to look, make sure I haven't lost any gaskets. It looks like they're all here. Yes. Case. Bottom plate, bottom plate. We're good. It's good. Okay. 1 second. It's good. Okay. Let's see. Yes, we're good. It was a bottom plate. It was a bottom plate. Bottom plate, bottom plate. 1 sec. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Character's not my favorite part. Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that, Nachos. So here's the case. Lines dropping your keyboard straight up. Luckily, if there was anything wrong, you wouldn't be able to see it because it was the bottom plate. The bottom plate. Oof. So I totally got faked out and thought it was this foam insert, and I went to pick it up and it slid off the side. I'm like, fuck! No! Ugh, my bad. Insty, what's up? Thanks, Kona. I needed that after that panic moment. Oof. Wait, Insty deleted Avo's message? What did it say? Curious goated? Oh my gosh. How Holla me Ray. Damn, Insty is here. Jiren's first big scuff. That wasn't my first big scuff. Let's just watch it. Hang on. Oh, that was pretty good. That was pretty good. Making dinner while lurking. Yo, right on. That was pretty good. It was pretty epic. I have to own it. I have to own it. Shockingly, I'm much less embarrassed than I would have been had the thing fucking scratched. Then I would have been like very sad. Luckily, Norbauer stuff is all Cerakoted and not anode, so like getting it redone is like not so bad. Glasses on or off? You're putting them back on? Okay, I took them off actually before because when I was lubing, I was having a tough time seeing close up, but there we go. Sounds like a southern woman dropping a bunch of biplates. Yo, how's it going, Jordan? Were you here for the actual moment or just the replay? That was very scary. Luckily, no harm was done. And because of the bottom, I was like extra less worried about it. Whew. Just breathe. Just breathe just a little bit. Came in right after. Okay. Okay. Captured for all eternity. I wonder if, you know what? That's actually that's not my first big scuff. My first big scuff was actually when I dropped the PCB for my Mode 65 on my black top plate, which Itherac now has. But the reason why there is a scratch in the top case rather of my Mode 65, or what used to be my Mode 65, was because I dropped the PCB on it. And that scuff was heartbreaking because it scratched it for sure. That took a nick out of the top. And I was very, very sad. And I'm pretty sure I held it together, but I was pretty freaking flipped, man. I gotta tell you. It's so minor. Oh my gosh. I was so upset, Itherac. I was so upset. I was so upset because generally, apart from, you know, the last 10 minutes, I really try to, and this one fucking ring, I try to keep all my stuff in fairly pristine condition. There we go. You would get mad on stream makes for good content. Oh my gosh. No, if you want to see me get mad, come to work and watch me deal with telco providers. That's guaranteed anger every time. Guaranteed anger. Oh my gosh. I can't even with these telco providers. It's insane. They're all so bad. It's like they try to be bad. I'm not even sure how they manage it. It's they should be embarrassed. They aren't embarrassed, but they should be embarrassed. I still don't know what Geo does. I work in tech, Mr. Andrew. Mr. Andrew. This is why you always go polycarb, less scratching your dance spoon. The big brain plays from Sonic Corp. I really just love the feel of alu. I don't know. There were options to get like polycarb bottom casings for the F1 that I got as well, but I ended up just going for alu because I just love how alu feels. Geo works for Amazon. Geo does not work for Amazon. There are other folks in chat, though, that do work for Amazon. Tech can mean anything. So, Mr. Andrew, I have worked in tech for quite a while. I did tech consulting for just under 20 years. And now I have a permanent position at a company in a tech leadership role. How about that? Gian looks like he's 30. Yeah. Gian is still pretty young, though, is he not? Like, I think Gian is pretty young, right? Despite the fact that he has, like, I don't know where the access comes to, like whether he owns or has like crazy ins with or whatever, like that factory, like he either makes something else, isn't that right? Like something about that is true or something. Nothing like generic comments being generic, but we all love Gian and Jiren. Yeah, we do love Gian for sure. Gian is like literally saving us from keyboards. It's just fantastic. Okay. So I have to tell you, I didn't have any problems getting my sliders into. I never knew Ken Clark worked in tech. True. We're only as old as we let ourselves be. Jordan is 100% correct. 100% correct. Okay. Some people had issues with the slider housings. I do not. And every time I say slider housings, it makes me think of lederhosen. I don't know why. But it's like slider housings and lederhosen are basically the same thing in my opinion. Okay. Now I'm going to see if I can try to get this out without completely scuffing all of the lube off of the wire. Slider housing? Yeah, exactly, Sonic Corp. I don't know what those are, so I guess you're going to have to wear some to show us. How did you know it was anything to do with wearing, Avo? My dad runs the IT tech for one of the largest investment banks in the world. Oh, cool. That's fantastic. You said. Oh, did I? Damn it. Hey, Keyboard KB, how are you doing? Can we get a shout out for Keyboard KB? Oh, and also, Geo, we are old. Stop lying. Yeah, very true. You lewd some lederhosen? Ryutaru69. Hello. Can we get a shout out for Keyboard KB? Please, for anyone that's listening, shout out for Keyboard KB. Shout out for Jordan64 TV, and also a correlated shout out for Mazak West. Please. Oh, this is like making my head hurt. Let me see. How do I do it? I don't want to... Like I said, I don't want to pull... There we go. Okay. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to put this down. Take the gasket, put it here. And now, take this slider, trying not to get my face bumping into the mic here, and put it in like so. No, this way. Gah. I'm trying to balance this in while at the same time dropping the entire thing into the hole. Yes! I don't, without necessarily getting all of the lube pulled off of the wire. That's the tricky part. Okay, is that it? Did we get it? I feel like we got it. That is a different type of slider. So the interesting thing will be how the stabs feel when we put it together. Let's take a quick peek. Hey, Mad Asian, how's it going, man? Let's not forget Ithrak. Oh my gosh, I totally did. Wait, I thought this is Topra. I thought I shouted out Ithrak earlier, or requested one. Thank you, Warthog. But we are not as old as Ithrak. Also true. Ithrak and I were chatting, just he and I on stream the other day. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm super old and blah, blah. He's like, bro, you're not old as me. I'm like, yeah, right. And he's like, no, for real. This is how old I am. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, you are the oldest one. You are older than me. Never mind. Never mind. Okay, pull this out. Let's just drop this on here for just a moment. Oh, did we keep the... We didn't. Okay, so now I'm wondering what the hell we did with the silencing ring. I don't see it. I don't see it at all. Is there no silencing ring on this one particular stab? On this one particular slider? Gasp. Do you see it? Did I lose it? Juicy O. Thank you so much for the follow. Where did it possibly go? Did you guys see it fall out? Out? I don't see it. Thanks, Warthog. Thank you. Did anyone see where that one gasket went, or has it been missing the entire time? Gasp. Not here. Not on here. Okay, so now the question is, do I have an additional gasket somewhere? Let's take... Wait a minute, is it right here? No. It's not right here. Okay, let me take a quick peek. 1 second, everybody. Springs. I actually am quite far. I need an average of 3 viewers. I have a hard time having above... Wait. Thank you for... you're so close to affiliate. But Ithrak, don't you only need follower limits? I thought it was follower limits only. Films. Burger mount. Films. O-rings. Films. Oh! Boom. Okay. These number 4 rings are pretty close to the OG. They're pretty close to the OG gaskets on the HHKB. So we're going to call that good enough. What? Literally what? I have no idea where that went again. I have no idea where that went again. Okay. Oh my gosh, we put it in backwards twice. Twice as backwards is twice as nice. Only the opposite of nice. Twice as backwards is twice as stupid. Words of wisdom. There we go. Okay. So, we're going to drop this in. But I'm almost feeling like I'm not... Okay, well, we're going to give that a shot. If it's no good, we're going to take the whole thing apart and try it again. The Type S mods have 1mm size sodas compared to 0.5 on the 1Us. The Type S mods have 1mm sized compared to the... Oh, that could be. In this particular case, the number 4s, I think, are actually a little bit thicker anyway, so that's not the end of the world. And on my Norbauer, on my Norbaforce, they're all uniform. So I'm good to deal with however they turned out. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. One. Okay. Now looking at these are also lubed with 205 grade 0. Or sorry, they're also lubed with BDZ, and that's it. So it's interesting. Now here's something that I'm not sure about, are these spacebar gaskets, which is interesting. And potentially empty. Wouldn't that be a funny package to buy, hey? What did you buy? Well, nothing. How much was it? Something? Two pieces of foam. Alrighty. Wire on the bottom. Okay. So what we have here is a fully assembled plate with all of the switches and silencing rings and some amount of lubrication on the spacebar and 2U stabs. I'm not promising any guarantees on the sound or anything just yet. Oh my gosh, Elvin. Elvin, how are you? How is your flight? You're home. Dude, Elvin, how was it? Straight talk, dude. Like, I am so jelly that you went. I am so... How much does modding Topras usually run for something like a 65? Juicy, oh, what do you mean? How much does modding Topras? So usually for modding a Topra, the typical process is just the... is really just the lube. Like that's sort of the whole thing. Oh my god, as Elvin would say. My legs are pretty much gone. Fuck Ultra Boost. Yeah, the event was a success, dude. The event looked like it was off the hook, dude. Like it looked crazy good. Crazy good. Yeah, man. Like Elvin, no joke. That looked like one of the coolest, bestest meets ever. I gotta say. Okay, with this in, now all I have to do is drop the plate. Just kidding. I have to take the top housing and apply the gasket to the inside. And from what I understand, the gasket is asymmetrical, so we should be able to lift it here. Lift it down on the bottom, lay it down. Now in this particular case, it's feeling like it needs a little bit of help staying put. So, what I'm doing here is I'm just putting the head of one of the, like an iFixit, there we go. That actually went in pretty easy. So no joke, when you watch Ryan do it on the video, he has quite a bit of trouble with it. So we'll have to see. Oh, now in this particular case, what he said to do was drop it in and put in two of the screws. Put in two of the screws. And when you put in two of the screws, you're going to use that to align. Why this isn't open, but you're going to put in two of the screws and use it to align the keycaps on the outside of the board. We're getting to the most annoying part. Yes, Penguin, agreed. Were you there for the meet? Elvin, I loved my time in SG. Were you there for the meet? Warthog, no, I am a bool, but I loved going to SG when I was in Indo. I had to go to SG once a year for visas back in the day before 2011. Oh, cool. Okay. So we now can take the key. What? that came with the kit. Screws, file, key. Key, nowhere to be found. Okay, let's take this, see if it fits the screw heads. It does. Okay, we're just going to use the iFixit key then, as they say. And now, let's see how we can do here. Now what we're not going to do is actually tighten the living snot out of this. We're going to allow it a little bit of room. And this is the same thing we needed to do for the Norba Force, actually. Because when you put these plates into the housing, you have to make sure that they're centered even remotely properly. Otherwise they end up looking kind of funny. And the keys have a tendency to brush against the edge of the housing as well. Now this is annoying because the plate... Okay, so what we're going to do here is, watch. We're going to take this screw. We're actually going to screw down not the one we want. And the reason for that is we're going to screw it down to make this one stay put. And then we're going to take another screw, screw that in, and then back out the screw that we just added, because we don't actually need it, but we want to use it just to kind of keep ourselves in position. Okay. Unless it's not actually the problem. And then Penguin is going to be like, yeah, dude, I told you this was annoying. Whoops. I didn't get to say hi to you. Oh my gosh, imagine missing Elvin. I would be so sad. I would be so sad indeed. Okay, boom. This is threaded. Now we're going to back this one out. Okay, back it out, back it in. Back this one out. Okay, now here's going to be a part where it's like you get to see what your standards are actually like in terms of alignment. Okay, so here, okay, one. Now personally, actually that actually looks pretty good. So we're going to go top down here so you guys can see what's up. For me, that actually looks pretty decent. So I don't know if I fluked into a good alignment here or not, but let's check the other corner and we'll see how we did. How we did when we pop out the slider. Hey, yo.